Japan, a land where the sacred and the modern intertwine, where towering mountains like Fuji rise above ancient forests and the air is filled with the echoes of centuries-old rituals. Here, Shinto shrines nestle quietly among the trees, and vibrant festivals bring communities together in celebration of tradition and spirit. The torii gates, painted in vivid red, stand as timeless guardians between the worlds of the divine and the everyday, inviting all who pass through to reflect on the mysteries of nature and the power of belief. This is a nation where emperors, believed to be descendants of the gods, once ruled from majestic palaces, their authority woven into the very fabric of myth and history. The imperial regalia, symbols of divine right, have been passed down through generations, connecting the present to a legendary past. Across the countryside, samurai once rode beneath fluttering banners, their lives dedicated to loyalty, honor, and the way of the warrior. These legendary figures shaped the destiny of Japan, leaving behind stories of courage, sacrifice, and innovation that continue to inspire the nation today. But this island nation, once sealed off from the world, would eventually become one of its most influential powers, blending ancient tradition with futuristic innovation. From the myths of mythology to the devastation of World War II and the rise of a modern superpower, the history of Japan is nothing short of extraordinary. Welcome to ChronoScope. Today we dive deep into the story of Japan, tracing over 2,000 years of transformation, survival, and rebirth. The story of Japan begins, like many ancient civilizations, with legend. According to Shinto mythology, the gods Izanagi and Izanami stirred the sea with a jeweled spear, creating the first Japanese islands. From this divine lineage descended Amaterasu, the sun goddess whose grandson was sent to Earth to rule. His great-grandson, Emperor Jimmu, is said to have founded Japan in 660 BCE. Beyond legend, archaeology reveals the Jomon people, hunter-gatherers from 14,000 years ago, who crafted intricate pottery and lived in semi-permanent dwellings. Around 300 BCE, a remarkable transformation began to unfold in the Japanese archipelago. This was the era when the Yayoi culture made its way across the sea from the Asian mainland, forever altering the course of Japanese history. The Yayoi people arrived in boats, bringing with them not only new ideas and customs, but also advanced technologies that would revolutionize life on the islands. Among their most significant contributions was the introduction of wet rice agriculture, a practice that would become the backbone of Japanese society for centuries to come. They also brought bronze tools and weapons, which allowed for more efficient farming and craftsmanship, and marked a leap forward in technological development. But perhaps even more profound was the emergence of a new social structure. The Yayoi period saw the rise of organized villages, the beginnings of class divisions, and the formation of early leadership roles. These changes laid the foundation for the complex society that Japan would eventually become. By the 5th century CE, the Yamato clan had risen to power, unifying various regions and establishing Japan's imperial dynasty, a line that impressively remains unbroken even today. During the Asuka period, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Chinese systems of governance made their way to Japan, fundamentally changing the country's spiritual and political foundations. Japan modeled its capital Nara after China's Chang'an. Massive temples were built, including the Great Buddha of Todaiji. The Heian period followed, a golden age of art, literature, and aristocratic culture centered in Kyoto. Court nobles lived for beauty and ritual. It was during this era that Lady Murasaki wrote The Tale of Genji, the world's first novel. Yet as elegance bloomed in the palace, real power drifted to regional military clans. The samurai emerged, disciplined, loyal, and devoted to Bushido, the way of the warrior. In 1192, Minamoto no Yoritomo became the first shogun. Power shifted to the military and the Kamakura shogunate. Feudal Japan truly flourished during this remarkable era, with its breathtaking landscapes and intricate social structures. The countryside was dotted with villages and majestic castles, each a symbol of power and tradition. Life here was shaped by a strict code of honor and duty which influenced every aspect of society. At the heart of this world were the daimyo, powerful feudal lords who controlled vast territories and commanded immense respect. These leaders were responsible for maintaining order, collecting taxes, and ensuring the prosperity of their lands. Their authority was absolute, but it came with great responsibility. Serving under the daimyo were the samurai, elite warriors bound by loyalty and the Bushido code. These samurai formed formidable armies, always ready to defend their lord's honor or fight for their clan's survival. Their discipline and courage became legendary throughout history. However, the bonds of loyalty were constantly tested. Betrayal was not just a personal failing, it was a grave offense that could shatter families and destabilize entire regions. The consequences of such actions were severe and far-reaching. In fact, betrayal was considered so dishonorable that those found guilty often faced seppuku, a ritual suicide meant to restore lost honor. This act was both a punishment and a final demonstration of loyalty to the code, underscoring just how seriously honor was taken in feudal Japan. The Mongol invasions, well, they were miraculously repelled by powerful typhoons which people saw as divine protection, the legendary kamikaze. But then, civil war returned during the Sengoku era. Warlords battled fiercely for supremacy. Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi began unification. Tokugawa Ieyasu completed it at the Battle of Sekigahara. The Tokugawa shogunate began in 1603, ushering in 250 years of peace and strict social order. Edo, which we now know as Tokyo, became a bustling city. Society was stratified, mobility was restricted, and stability was strictly enforced. In order to preserve harmony, Japan, well, closed itself off from the world with something called sakoku, a period of isolation. Christianity was banned, foreigners were expelled, no Japanese person could leave. Yet, interestingly, within the country, arts and culture really thrived. Kabuki theater, haiku poetry, and ukiyo-e prints, all helped to immortalize everyday life and the fleeting beauty of the world. In 1853, Commodore Perry's black ships arrived. The shock sparked revolution. The shogunate fell in 1868. Power returned to the emperor in the Meiji Restoration. Japan modernized at lightning speed. Railroads, armies, schools, industries all transformed the nation. By the early 1900s, Japan had become a modern industrial power with global ambitions. Japan defeated China and Russia, annexed Korea, and expanded into Asia. By the 1930s, it was an empire. In 1941, it bombed Pearl Harbor and entered World War II. The Pacific War was brutal. Atrocities like the rape of Nanjing really stained Japan's legacy. In 1945, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were bombed. Over 200,000 civilians died. Japan surrendered. Post-war Japan, rose from the ashes. A pacifist constitution, democracy, and reforms took root. By the 1960s, Japan's economy, well, it really boomed. It became a tech and cultural powerhouse. From cars to anime, sushi to video games, Japan influenced the world. Despite challenges, Japan blends ancient values with futuristic innovation. From divine origins to digital revolutions, Japan's journey is one of resilience, elegance, and transformation. This is Japan, not just a country, a civilization, eternal, evolving, unforgettable.